I thought 20 people, maybe up to 50, might show up for our group ride in East London. Instead, 150 of us took over the streets. Hello. I'm probably riding my bike on the left side of the road. It's always kind of confusing when I arrive in England to make sure I ride on the correct side. Had a couple of mishaps moving between countries, well, near mishaps. Riding through my hometown just outside London. I'm riding to the train station to get the train to London for a fun group ride. The second group ride I've organised. This time with some help for some friends from Story MFG and Cyclists. Very British bunting here. It's a lovely high street, apart from all the cars. Later in the day there's people hunting for parking spaces. Oh dear. One guy falling off his bike. Anyway, home for some time to see my family and for my kids to be with their grandparents and uncles and cousins and aunts, and I managed to get a few rides in just around the neighbourhood, also one down south on the Purbeck coast. Check out the video for that one. And today I've organised the group ride. No idea how many people are going to come. I'm excited, a little bit nervous. Maybe less nervous than the last group ride I did, because now I've done it before, I feel a bit more relaxed this time. I'm excited to see some familiar faces, but mostly new faces too. Familiar faces from people I actually know, but also lots of internet friends who are going to become real life friends today, I hope, and some new friends who maybe I haven't seen their faces before. United and gathered for the love of bikes. It's going to be awesome. I'm getting the train, 2 trains. One to Maidenhead and then the Elizabeth line, the newest subway line in London, or tube line in London, underground, to Liverpool Street, which you're allowed to bring your bikes on apparently during the weekend, which is cool. My tyres are currently set to Purbeck gravel mode. They're a bit pudgy for the streets of London, so I'll give them a quick pump while I'm waiting for the train. So I've still got the Rune Nightwood. It feels very familiar because I got one in Seoul. This one has gears, which I'll probably end up putting on mine. And I'm going to put some wider tyres like these ones too. These are the Panaracer Gravel King SK 54B. They're a bit wider than the ones I have. I really like them. I think the Panaracer tyres are like the best value for quality. And these are good for gravel and pretty good for the city too. Trains are few and far between from my hometown, just 1 an hour. And the first one's at 8 in the morning, on the weekend anyway. The first part's quite scenic. We're only about an hour outside of London. What was meant to be a quick transfer at Maidenhead turned into multiple cancelled trains. Nervously waiting, hoping I won't be late for my own group ride. To my relief, finally, an Elizabeth line train turned up.
Service to Abbey Wood.
Starts off quite quiet and peaceful and goes through some lovely picturesque towns. As we got closer into the city centre, the train filled up and I got out of the way with my bike. I don't want to be a nuisance on the train. And before I knew it, I was at Liverpool Street Station. I love being able to take my train on the bike right into the city. On this line during weekends you can take a full bike anytime, and full bikes are allowed at certain times during the week too. Just check the website first. I think folding bikes are allowed anytime. Made it into London. It's always surreal arriving here to the chaos. These two cyclists. I'm glad I made it. A little bit later than planned, but still on time. There were lots of delays due to severe weather conditions. I guess the UK infrastructure's doesn't take extremes well. 30-something degrees is too hot. Can't handle snow either. And in the autumn sometimes the trains are delayed due to wet leaves on the tracks. But we made it. Probably still better than driving into town. But generally, London bike infrastructure's improved, but on this part it's non-existent. Maybe we'll see some improvements later on in the journey. I came off at Liverpool Street Station. We're going to turn right up here at Shoreditch High Street. About a 10-minute ride up to Story MFG. I ummed and ahed about doing this ride for a long time. As someone who's relatively socially introverted, sometimes lacks self-confidence and belief, organising a ride like this is kind of scary. As I said, doing the other ride really helped. And recently I met up with Saeed, a fellow bike lover, who ran the Story MFG clothing brand in London. And he suggested doing it together and starting off at their studio. So that gave me the added confidence to get rolling and get started with organising it. I'm so happy with the encouragement from Saeed. I'm super grateful for him for helping getting this on. I think a group ride doesn't need too many fancy things. The main event is meeting up, making new friends, riding bikes. We reached out to Craig and Sam from Cyclists. Thought it'd be fun to ride out there to check out some of their bikes. I'm particularly interested in their carry-on cargo bikes, so we'll see some of those later. So we're starting out at London Fields, Story MFG studio, and we head out through Victoria Park, through the Olympic Park, out to Leytonstone to stay at Cyclists. And Saeed and Craig are going to lead the way. If you follow me, you just get lost. Once you get off away from the main train station, London gets quiet quite quickly. There's pockets of noise and activity, and then the rest is quite green and quiet. If you ride on the backstreets, it's actually quite nice to ride around in London. Here we are heading up Columbia Road, famous for its flower market on the weekend. Gets insanely busy, but if you come early in the morning, it's quite nice. Pick up some lovely flowers, head up to Broadway Market for some lovely baked goods and delicious food. It's a nice area. There's lots of good pubs. Oh, this is cool. Get all the flags up for the World Cup. So back in the day, I used to be a teacher in East London, taught in about 4 different schools. It was so fun, a learning experience. Some of the best in my teaching career. Amazing kids and really amazing teachers as well, people I can learn from. I kind of miss it, but London's too expensive for a teacher's salary. Maybe again in the future. So from here, this cycle super highway number 13, a very pleasant bike ride. I used to come down this way all the time to go to the flower market or down to Shoreditch. I think a lot of the roads you can drive on, but they're kind of difficult with these bollards, so it discourages cars, but cars can still make it in a certain way, I think. One thing I miss about living in London is all the little parks and green spaces. Seoul has the incredible Han River bike path, and outside of that there's a few parks, but not quite as many dotted around. I think just lots of small green spaces are nicer than a few big spaces, because you have to travel to those. That's another thing in Paris, which is now an amazing cycling city, is all the little squares and parks. Such a lovely place to walk around or ride, take a rest. The little parks. This neighbourhood, you can see lots of people getting around by bike. So cool. Oh, it's market day today, I didn't realise. Maybe I'll go round. The ride meet starts in half an hour, so I'd like to get there a little bit early. There's a bike lane over there, which I'll join. This is the London Fields. Had many barbecue here back in the day. I'm not sure you're allowed to anymore. Oh yeah, got a ride on the left. So it's 10 o'clock now. The meet officially starts 10:30 and we're riding out 11. I'm wondering how many people will be there now. Love it. I used to teach in that school over there, Gayhurst Primary School. Lovely place. I did some of my teacher training there for a few months. Ice. Fresh delivery of ice. That boy was very excited. It's like he'd never seen it in his life. I arrived early, but there were still a few eager beavers ready to go, including a face you might recognise. Craig from Second Life Bikes on YouTube also works at Stayer Cycles. It seemed calm in the beginning, but we didn't expect how many people would turn up. More and more kept on coming. It was incredible, but also I was kind of shitting my pants, feeling kind of responsible for this many people I was grateful for Craig, who did the rounds and got everyone organised. Everyone knew the destination, and we talked about how it would be best if we kind of went our own pace and kind of spread out a bit. I was so busy handing out my coffee samples and chatting to people, I didn't get much footage at the beginning. And suddenly we're off. We did start off as one kind of huge convoy and spread out a bit later on. It felt like a critical mass. It's the biggest group ride I've ever been on. Yeah, and then to Victoria Park?
Yeah. How about higher from Hush?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I've got this, the Nightwood in Korea too, the pink. So, and with the same handlebars, so it feels familiar.
Katy bar.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I really like the KT bar, it's nice.
Yeah.
This get around, is it?
You can get around, yeah.
I was just blown away and amazed by how many people came. It seems that London has a pretty immense bike scene, or bike community. Over my time making this channel, I've realised how amazing the bike communities are around the world. And it's so nice to switch from the online world that I'm in to this real life one, putting faces and people to the numbers and stats and comments on my videos. It was so amazing to meet everyone in real life. So grateful for everyone to come, and I didn't actually get the chance to talk to everyone, but I tried to talk to as many people as possible. I never saw myself as a community organiser, but here I am, and loving it. It wasn't until we reached Victoria Park where I realised the scale of how many people had come to ride bikes together. Just look at it. Thanks to those who shared some of their footage of the ride. Look at all these legends. All these people together just to ride bikes and chat. Not caring about speed or distance. And hopefully making some new friends. So many cool bikes. The beauty of this kind of ride is you can just dip in and out of conversation with different people. It's perfect for those who maybe if they go to a party, kind of wallflowers and like to stick to one person and one conversation. This one you can just ride in silence, take in the scenery, chat to the person next to you for a bit, dip in and out of that conversation, go and join some others. Just really chilled, a nice way to get to talk to people and get to know people. It's awesome that you can gather this many people and everyone just be so warm and nice.
Hello. Are we doing all right?
Good. How are you?
Great ride.
What a community. Talking about community, I'll share some of the community organisers who were here or ones that I'm aware of in the UK. Maybe you're looking for something like this, or looking for some like-minded people to go and ride bikes with. Coming up in September, there's a She's and They's bikepacking adventure. A queer-friendly camp out. You could actually be part of the organisation. If you're interested, get in touch with Flo on Instagram at partypaste. Another exciting event coming up in London is the Babylondon Jumble on the Sunday 9th of August. From the legendary Marlon and folks at Babylondon in South London. I wish I could go to that one. I'd planned to visit Babylondon while I was at home in the UK, but dad duties scuppered those plans. So next time I go back to the UK I'll have to go there. Some other communities to check out. Always keep an eye on what Craig's doing. Also check out Hans Bicycle Club based in Milton Keynes. Glasgow Coffee Outside is another one. As well as Tour de Friends. And York Brew and Bike. Also check out Lake's ATB Club. They're the ones that I could remember off the top of my head and that I'm aware of. There's probably tons I missed out, so if you're part of a bike community, put it in the comments so people can come and join you.
Yeah, this is really cool. Massive fan.
Okay, yeah, so that's how I make friends nowadays, talking about bikes. It's been quite a pleasant ride through Victoria Park, through the Olympic Park, and out to Leytonstone. It's not a part of London I'm very familiar with. I know it quite well until London Fields, where we started. Further east, I don't know so well.
It's Saeed's bike I'm borrowing.
Look at this beautiful Rivendell platypus as well.
Yeah, are you enjoying a big group like this? Kind of terrifying, but now I've done it a couple of times. It's like the community is so good, and like I might not get to talk to everyone, but they will make new friends and like meet new people.
Saeed and Craig helped with the route and thought it would be a nice one, mostly away from cars, with plenty of space for our bikes. Quite a range of infrastructure on this ride too, through park paths, bike lanes, and quiet roads as well.
I'm sure there's nice riding outside of the city.
So if you've been to
Oh really? Online. A few of my local friends came, and then actually one guy we made it. Yay! Here we are.
And before I knew it, we were at Story Cyclists, our destination, or the halfway point. We're going to be riding back to Story MFG on the way back. Story Cyclists hand-built steel bike frames, and this is their latest project. They're carry-on cargo bikes. They braze the carry-on cargo conversion kit, and you can get a frame builder or them to attach it to any steel bike you want. Super cool. I'd quite like one for myself. It was so nice for the folks at Story Cycles to give up some time on a Saturday to host us. And Sam did a few tutorials, demonstrations of the process. I was amazed how well he could talk about what he was doing and his knowledge while he was doing it. I can't multitask like that. I can hardly talk whilst riding a bike. They actually have frame building courses, so for beginners. So if any of you are curious or interested in building your own frame, check out the website, which is in the description of the video. I feel like Sam would be a great teacher, and you get your own custom bike that you've made with your own hands at the end of it. I didn't take nearly as many photos as I wanted to, and only one of you asked for a bike portrait. But if you want to see more bike checks or people talking about their bikes, check out Craig's video on his YouTube channel. I had a go on Craig's carry-on. Such a sweet ride. It feels so nice to ride, just like a regular bike. Of course it's a bit longer and you have to maneuver a bit more. But it's smooth and stable. Craig was saying that the frame you braze onto the cargo conversion kit really dictates on how the bike feels. I think they mostly do 26-inch 90s mountain bikes, but if you've got a more aggressive one, the rides can be more aggressive, and if you've got a more upright, chilled mountain bike frame, it's going to feel like that too. I think it's pretty cool that you can tailor the cargo bike and still retain the charm and the character of the original frame.
Right at the front with me.
People started making their own way in small groups back to Story MFG, and I took a larger group along with me at the end.
This way or is it the next one?
Although I had no idea where I was going. I knew that Keisuke lived in London Fields, so I dragged him to come to the front with me. And then I realised he didn't know where he was going, and he was probably a bit nervous about me summoning him to help us. So sorry about that, Keisuke. So then it was me and my new friend from Manchester leading the way. The blind leading the blind. Took quite a few wrong turns. Maybe it was just my ploy to get people to spend more time riding bikes with me.
Getting lost is all part of the fun anyway. I hope everyone had fun anyway. It's just a gloriously beautiful London summer day to be out riding bikes. Let's make our way back to Story MFG. Are we going the right way? Sorry guys. Where we're going. This way? Do you know the way? Yeah. Who knows the way? Hey. We're going to Story MFG.
We went right that way.
He says he knows. It's all part of the fun. The ride's too short without getting it out here. It's one of the reasons that I love living there so much. I taught near Hackney Marshes. Super nice commute. Your bar's too wide.
Bars on my other bike.
You just have to be conscious of it. We made it. We went the wiggly route over. I still had fun. I know that area a bit better now. That was fun.
Yeah, it's so good.
Here's Saeed's Ladybird, the bike that he built at Stayer Cycles on the frame building course, inspired by the Rivendell Hunker pillar. Cooled down with some delicious ice cream, and people started slowly heading off. This crew was riding down south to Babbitt, London to continue the fun. I stayed to have a look around at Story MFG studio. Saeed and Katy make some really beautiful special clothes, more authentic and the opposite to fast fashion, specialising in clothes made by hand, woven and made by hand, and natural dyes. It's definitely worth reading their manifesto on their website to get their ethos. A lot of people were confused when they saw that there was a Probably Riding Stayer ride with Story MFG. Yeah. People who didn't know about them asked me if they were a cycling clothes manufacturer. But none of my clothes are cycling specific. I just like to wear comfortable clothes that look good on and off the bike. We just happened to collaborate through a shared love of bikes. And I do like wearing their clothes whilst riding my bike. As people dispersed, I left to go back and see my kids, beaming with joy and pride that we successfully organised an amazing community event. I hope everyone who joined loved it. I did. And if you couldn't join, I hope you lived vicariously through this video, and maybe you could organise or join another group ride yourself, wherever you are. I'll be trying to do a few more, of course in Seoul and other places when I have time to travel. I'd love to do one in Tokyo when I visit there later in the year. Where else should I come? Let me know in the comments. I hope you'd enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. See you later.